Modern Warfare 3 Remastered could change everything. If you guys didn't happen to see, or if you didn't hear this, it's apparently rumored that a remastered Call of Duty game is going to be announced at Xbox's Direct tomorrow. And a lot of people are speculating that the remastered Call of Duty game is going to be the original Modern Warfare 3. Now, some of this has to do with the color scheme that Xbox was using, which people believe could be teasing Modern Warfare 3 Remastered. But on top of that as well, when it comes to remastered Call of Duty games, the only COD games to ever really receive remasters are Call of Duty 4, the original Modern Warfare, which was a full-blown remaster and even had some extra content added as well. And then, of course, the Modern Warfare 2 campaign remaster, which obviously was just the campaign remastered, which obviously left a ton of fans disappointed because even though the campaign remaster was really solid, most players wanted to see Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer get remastered, and Spec Ops would have been a nice addition as well. And then, of course, that brings us to this video, where we're going to talk about the possibility of Modern Warfare 3 Remastered actually being a reality. And just as a quick heads up, the gameplay you're seeing in the background is not officially Modern Warfare 3 Remastered, but it's the closest thing we have to it. It is a modded client on PC called Horizon Modern Warfare, better known as HMW, which has all kinds of remastered content from Modern Warfare Remastered, the campaign remaster, as well as the original Modern Warfare 3. Now, not only is the HMW gameplay super relevant to what we're talking about today, but I also wanted to mention HMW because in the last video I did, I forgot to actually mention the rumors about the possibility of Modern Warfare 3 Remastered in that video. But let's be for real, the only games that Xbox has confirmed will be getting gameplay shown off at the Xbox Direct is going to be Fable, Forza Horizon 6, and Beasts of Reincarnation. I'm not sure if it's because in this image they have the date circled with the color green, and if people think that that somehow means that it's going to be Modern Warfare 3 because of the green colored theming. These kinds of rumors spread like wildfire, even if there's not necessarily a ton of evidence to back it up. But I still wanted to make this video and talk about this because there's actually been a lot of previous rumors about Modern Warfare 3 Remastered, one of which being that the entire game has apparently been developed, it just hasn't been released yet. But before we get into that, we do kind of have to talk about Black Ops 7 because that is the current Call of Duty game that is out. And as we know, it has had an amazing launch, great reception, and people are loving Black Ops 7. Oh, my bad. I was in an alternate reality for a second. Now, Black Ops 7, even though on the multiplayer side of things, there's actually some really good post-launch content, and it seems like they do care about the game. They want to give it some good updates and stuff. Even with all of that being said, the broad public reception to Black Ops 7 has not really been all that great, and it's reflected in a bunch of different metrics. The sales for Black Ops 7 are down. People don't seem nearly as interested or hyped in different things that are going on with Black Ops 7, and overall, it's not looking great. I mean, dude, as a prime example, they have these new leaderboard events type things where, at least for this most recent leaderboard event as part of the Fallout collab, you have to go around and collect bottle caps. This whole entire leaderboard event was structured in such a way to just get people to play the game even more. They basically want you to get addicted to playing the game and basically just spend every waking moment of your miserable, pathetic life collecting bottle caps so you can get a calling card. Yeah, I got like 7th place and I didn't care. And frankly, it's kind of frustrating and disappointing because instead of just making a really good game that people would want to organically get on every single day and play and enjoy and have fun on, instead, they're kind of going the opposite direction by just trying to make events that essentially get people addicted to playing the game. And the main reason I'm mentioning that is because when we look back at the older Call of Duty games like Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2, and Modern Warfare 3, we got on those games and played those games so much just because of the fun aspect of the games. And especially in the case of the original Modern Warfare 2, it had one of the most addicting gameplay loops we've ever seen because of the initial introduction of customizable kill streaks, which you could also use to earn the game-ending tactical nuke at only 25 kills. It was a never-before-seen gameplay addition that made the original Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer so much fun. It gave it so much replay value because there were so many different ways you could go about trying to get a nuke in the game, and it was just so much fun. Back then, we didn't have these goofy-ass leaderboard events where you're spending hours just mindlessly collecting bottle caps from loot caches in Warzone. We were calling in Harrier strikes and Pavlos and chopper gunners and AC-130s and having the time of our lives. But ultimately what I'm trying to say is that when it comes to modern Call of Duty games, it's very apparent and very obvious that the metrics that Activision and I guess now Xbox and Microsoft care about the most is the amount of money the game generates, which is also sales, and how engaged players actually are. You know, how often do they boot up Call of Duty every single day and every single week, and how long are they playing for? And even though they haven't shared a ton about the sales of Black Ops 7, I think it's pretty apparent and pretty obvious that the sales for Black Ops 7 are down compared to last year with Black Ops 6. And if they're implementing these leaderboard types of events that are just basically designed to get people to play the game even more artificially, then I think it's safe to say that players are just not as engaged and they're not playing as much as they probably were last year. And because of those reasons, I do personally think that could set the stage for a possible Call of Duty remaster to get released maybe sometime soon. To a degree, Activision has to be aware of the fact that remastering the older Call of Duty games is kind of a slam dunk. It's a no-brainer. I mean, dude, just think back to when the Infinite Warfare trailer was released and it became one of the most disliked videos on YouTube, but then we later found out that it was going to be bundled with Modern Warfare Remastered. Back then, I think it was safe to say that Modern Warfare Remastered hard carried the sales for Infinite Warfare because they waited roughly 8 months or so before making MWR a standalone game. And I've shared this story so many times, but back then I had like over 16 days played on Modern Warfare Remastered's multiplayer and less than 2 days played on Infinite Warfare's. Because in general, if you had to give me the choice between playing a classic Call of Duty multiplayer remaster versus something that's completely different and new and honestly people are not really vibing with, I'm gonna take the classic COD remaster 9 times out of 10, maybe 10 times out of 10. It honestly just depends on whatever the new game is. And this is another really important thing that Activision is probably aware of as well, because when they released Modern Warfare 2's campaign remaster, they just didn't have any plans to do the multiplayer because of concerns of splitting the player bases. I'm sure back then with Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered, they had the numbers and they probably knew that way more people were wanting to play MWR over Infinite Warfare. And I'm sure to some extent that probably scared them a little bit because it probably made them realize more players would prefer to play an older game than actually try something new, which is probably why the newer Call of Duty games have some new content, but also have a ton of older nostalgic content baked into them, which again, to be perfectly honest, I'm not the biggest fan of, because I would prefer to either see a brand new Call of Duty game that is actually doing and trying new things and delivering all of us fresh, brand new experiences, or on the flip side, I would like to see them also potentially just do a full-blown classic Call of Duty remaster. A lot of the recent Call of Duty games feel like this weird in-between. Like they're trying to make new games and put new things into these games, but at the same time, it feels like there's this eternal struggle with trying not to lose the original player base and losing the older veteran players. Now, if I was in charge with the current state of Call of Duty with how things are, I would be trying to release a brand new title in October or November like they typically do, but then I would also be releasing a remastered game roughly like 5 to 6 months after that, because the truth is that even if people think Call of Duty is dead, the franchise is actually still doing well. And at this point in time, Call of Duty has spanned over multiple decades, and I think it's time that we start seeing more remasters of the classic games. But getting back to Modern Warfare 3 Remastered specifically, will this actually happen, or is this just a bunch of cope from the COD community? Well, like I mentioned earlier, over the years, I have made multiple videos every time there's been some kind of rumor or leak about Modern Warfare 3 Remastered. If you haven't seen those videos, you can check them out. I'll link them in the description. And what blows my mind the most is that back then, we had these kinds of rumors about not just Modern Warfare 3, but also the OG Modern Warfare 2 being fully remastered. Like, they had every detail of the games fully remastered, but then they decided to basically just siphon it off and just only give us the campaign. And in the case of Modern Warfare 3 Remastered, well, we haven't seen that at all. And you're probably wondering to yourself, well, why not? Why won't they do it? It seems like a no-brainer, and it seems like basically easy money. Like, it would just be a money printer having all of these different Call of Duty games get remastered, right? But I do think it's also a little bit more complicated than that. And again, this really just ties back to what happened with Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered. I'm sure to some extent back then when the Infinite Warfare trailer was released and it got dislike bombed by pretty much the entire internet, that had to be a huge blow to Infinity Ward's ego, as well as potentially Activision as well. Like, dude, that had to hurt. That had to be stinging. Just imagine pretty much the entire internet is against your game, but then everyone is celebrating the iconic Call of Duty 4 getting remastered, but then there's kind of this weird tension because players have to buy Infinite Warfare in order to get access to a classic remaster. And when that combo bundle dropped, it really seems like most of the Call of Duty player base favored MWR and went back to play that instead. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Activision even said in the past that the reason why they didn't remaster Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer, or at least release it to the public, is because they didn't want to split the player base. But I think it goes a little bit further than that. Now, do bear in mind that this is just my opinion, but I feel like the reason why they didn't remaster Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer is because they didn't want us to realize that the original games, they might just be better than the new ones getting released. So again, in my opinion, I think that they purposely left out Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer because they don't want us to realize how good we had it back then and wake up and truly realize how different things are now. So with all of that being said, do I think that Modern Warfare 3 Remastered could be a possibility? I do think that there's a slight chance that we could get the campaign remastered. But based off of everything we know so far, I think it's highly, highly unlikely that they would release the multiplayer remastered. But I'm gonna be perfectly honest with this video. It does seem like a lot of Call of Duty players are getting fatigued and they're getting burnt out on the franchise. And part of the reason why that's happening is because the cycles and the way that they're handling and doing things has just become too predictable. The reason why there's a lack of interest in the game is because they're not doing anything interesting. You know, it's one thing to isolate and judge each game separately on their own, but when you look at the bigger picture, in the last 4 years of Call of Duty alone, we had Modern Warfare 2, then Modern Warfare 3 going into Black Ops 6, and then into Black Ops 7. We're getting the same sub-franchises with some new content, but then also a ton of old remastered and rehashed content as well, with seasons 1 through 5 or seasons 1 through 6, with a predictable amount of maps coming back into the game, as well as guns and stuff like that. Now, granted, aftermarket parts are fucking awesome, and I really do love that we have some good new innovative features like in Modern Warfare 3, and now it's coming back to Black Ops 7. But I do feel strongly that part of the reason why it's getting so stale is because it's also just getting so predictable. And at this point in time, if they decided to release Modern Warfare 3 Remastered, like the entire game remastered, that would actually be huge. It would absolutely mix things up, and I think it could actually get a lot of people interested in playing Call of Duty again. But in the meantime, while we wait until tomorrow to see if this is real or if it's just a load of BS, right now at this very moment, the HMW mod is incredible. It has remastered content from Call of Duty 4, the original Modern Warfare 2, and Modern Warfare 3, and even Call of Duty Ghosts, and there's even more content on the way. They even potentially have plans to bring in and introduce content from the original Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. And this game is essentially turning out to be the SM2 that we never got. So yeah, if you have a PC and if you're interested in checking out HMW, I'll have a link in the description to their site as well as a tutorial that I did quite a while ago, which still should apply, and it's a very easy thing to get set up. And if we're never gonna get official remasters of the classic Call of Duty games, this really is the next best thing. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did and you want Modern Warfare 3 Remastered to actually be a thing, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys later.
I don't need a dime, bitch, I'm still out.